The girl was forced to witness the horrific tragedy that befell her family at the hands of their enemies. They brutally murdered her mother and didn't even spare her two younger sisters. Yet, there wasn't a single hint of sorrow on her face. The unusual calmness on the girl's face sparked the robber's curiosity. Thanks to that, she managed to survive. Little did the criminal know that his own arrogance would lead both him and his entire organization down the path of destruction. After completing his mission, the assassin, as usual, returned to the assassin organization to collect his payment. To his surprise, he found bodies lying all over the floor. It was clear that an intense battle had just taken place here. But because he wanted to get his reward, he still decided to take the risk and try his luck. Just as he was about to take the money and leave, a strange sound came from a nearby door. Mute immediately became alert, ready to fight. He forcefully pulled the door open and found a dirty, frightened girl inside. Before he could process what was happening, the girl suddenly pointed a gun at him and pulled the trigger. Luckily, the gun wasn't loaded, allowing the assassin to escape death. Her fearless reaction, however, sparked his interest. To show goodwill, Mute loaded the gun and handed it back to her. But the girl did not lower her guard. Seeing her unwavering determination, Mute couldn't help but smile. Clearly, she had the potential to become an assassin. Oh, he decided to take her with him. Feeling his genuine intentions, the girl finally put the weapon down. From that moment on, she followed Mute, beginning an uncertain journey. 30 years passed in the blink of an eye. The girl once known as Anna had now grown into a woman, though her life was still far from easy. A ruthless thug dragged her out of the car. Outnumbered and outpowered, Anna didn't dare resist. After confiscating her communication device, the thug escorted her to a luxurious mansion. The old man swimming in the pool was none other than the kingpin of the underworld, the very person who had ordered Anna's abduction. Seeing his men bring her in, he didn't bother with pleasantries and landed a heavy punch straight into her stomach. It turned out that although Anna appeared weak and helpless, the kingpin himself was actually the one being targeted. Believing she didn't know who he was, he assumed she had made the fatal mistake of provoking the underworld. But just as he was issuing his threats, Anna suddenly dropped her timid act and revealed her true purpose. "I'm not here to beg," she said coldly. "I'm here to take your life." Within seconds, the once arrogant kingpin was dead on the spot. Anna, however, remained completely unfazed, maintaining her calm even in front of the guards. When the men inside discovered the gruesome scene, they immediately began chasing her. But before they could act, they were gunned down one by mysterious shooters hiding in the shadows. Anna seemed to have anticipated this outcome and showed no hint of surprise. She then drove one of the mansion's luxury cars into a small forest road, where she picked up the person who had just covered for her, Moody. Clearly, after 30 years of training under Moody, Anna had become an exceptional assassin. And because the two had completed their mission flawlessly, their employer soon transferred $7 million into their account. But while the two were still basking in their moment of joy, neither of them knew that a looming crisis was silently approaching. After completing the mission involving the kingpin, Anna returned to her quiet, peaceful life. She ran a small bookstore in London and enjoyed gardening in her free time. If someone hadn't witnessed it with their own eyes, they would never believe that Anna was an assassin. On Moody's 70th birthday, Anna not only baked a birthday cake for him but also gifted him a limited edition guitar. Although he pretended not to care, the moment he touched his favorite instrument, Moody couldn't hide the joy in his heart. After more than 30 years together, despite not being related by blood, the two had long considered each other family. That's why, even though it wasn't Anna's birthday, Moody used all of his savings to buy the bookstore for her. The gesture moved Anna deeply. However, happy moments never last long. Soon after, Moody got straight to the point. He had accepted a new mission, tracked down a man named Lucas. At first, Anna thought it was just another routine assignment. But she didn't expect Lucas's last known location to be Vietnam, the place where she had spent her childhood. Facing those nightmarish memories, Anna refused Moody's request for the first time. She still couldn't confront the trauma of her family's massacre. Fortunately, Moody didn't force her. To help Moody one last time before he left, Anna went to meet the informant Benny at a laundry shop and handed him the documents related to their target. With his assistance, she quickly obtained the exact location of Lucas in Vietnam. But the moment she returned to Moody's mansion with the intel, Anna noticed something was wrong. The front door was wide open. Just as she was wondering what happened, the housekeeper's body suddenly appeared before her eyes. Anna rushed through the house to look for Moody. She found his beloved guitar smashed into pieces, and his lifeless body lying in the bathtub. Anna never imagined that the birthday celebration would be the last time she saw him alive. While she was drowning in grief, a strange noise outside the window caught her attention. She discovered a hard drive tossed onto the grass and suspected it might contain clues Moody left behind. Anna immediately took it to Benny. But when she reached the laundromat, she was horrified to find Benny had also been murdered by unknown assailants. Only then did Anna fully grasp the severity of the situation. She hurried back to her bookshop, packed her belongings, and prepared to flee. However, the mastermind's men arrived at the scene almost instantly. Fortunately, Anna managed to hide in time and narrowly escaped death. When the gunfire momentarily ceased, she quickly lifted a table to use as a shield. When everything inside went silent, the man in black assumed the target was dead and reported the news to his employer. But the leg sticking out from behind the dining table caught his attention. He approached to confirm whether Anna was truly dead, only to lose his life because of that single moment of carelessness. The gunshot alerted the other assassin who was still on the phone. Spotting his partner's corpse, he instantly sensed something was wrong. Panicking, he rushed to start the car and escape, but Anna had already anticipated his intention. She fired first, killing him before he could flee. The next day, determined to uncover the truth, Anna took Benny's USB drive to an internet cafe to examine its content. Inside were documents related to Lucas. His birth certificate and personal records appeared completely normal. However, something suspicious stood out. After Lucas was admitted to Kateria Hospital in 1999, all traces of him vanished. Anna realized that Lucas was likely the key to unraveling everything. She continued reviewing the files from Moody's USB. There, she found information about Lucas's father, Edward, who had been accused of embezzlement 30 years earlier. Edward supposedly died in a car explosion right before his trial. Seeing a young Moody present at the crime scene, Anna immediately understood Edward's death had been orchestrated by Moody himself. Yet according to news reports, although Edward died, his company remained unaffected. In fact, it was taken over by an employee known as V and eventually grew into a well-known publicly listed corporation. Anna decided to begin her investigation with V. To uncover the mastermind behind everything, she boarded a plane to Vietnam, where she sought out Peter, an old friend of Moody's. Peter was the powerful leader of a major motorcycle racing gang, with deep influence and connections throughout the country. After hearing Anna's purpose, Peter didn't hesitate. Even though approaching V would be extremely difficult, he agreed to help. He discovered that V was a cigar enthusiast, so he prepared a box of premium cigars for Anna. After marking one specific cigar, he had the entire box delivered to V's company. Completely unaware of the danger closing in, V relaxed in his car, enjoying one of the cigars. But only seconds later, a swarm of high-powered motorcycles surrounded his vehicle. The driver tried to break through, but the gang members immediately pointed their guns and forced him to stop. Before V could even process what was happening, Anna appeared right in front of him. She calmly told him that she meant no harm, she only wanted information about Edward. Without waiting for a response, she handed him her business card and quickly left. That night, Vo called her back almost immediately, though not to give her any information. It was clear that Anna's stunt of hijacking his car had frightened him. Confronted with Vo's cautious, probing tone, Anna directly exposed his entire background. Only then did Vo realize how formidable she truly was, and he agreed to meet her at his office. Right on time, Anna arrived at the company building after confirming there were no safety risks. Guided by his bodyguards, she finally met Vo. He couldn't understand why she cared so much about a man who was already dead. Anna didn't beat around the bush. She stated plainly that she wanted to find Edward's son, Lucas, because her foster father and her friends had all died because of him. Unexpectedly, Vo looked startled and quickly glanced at the lawyer beside him, Duke, insisting that he didn't know any Lucas. Before Anna could respond, Duke abruptly stood up and pulled Vo away. Hearing the commotion, the bodyguards outside rushed in, but at Duke's signal, they lowered their weapons. It was now obvious that Duke was the one truly running the company, while Vo was merely a pawn used to draw fire for him. Realizing this, Duke dropped the act and began interrogating Anna, who had sent her to look for Lucas. Sensing the situation turning dangerous, Anna was glad she had prepared beforehand. She swiftly pulled out a hidden dagger concealed inside a cigar, catching everyone off guard. By the time Duke regained his senses, Anna had already slipped up into the ceiling. Enraged, Duke ordered his bodyguards to chase her, but Anna quickly shot one of them down. Seeing this, the others immediately fired into the ceiling, bullets raining down in a dense hail around her. Thinking fast, Anna came up with an idea. She activated the fire sprinkler system, sending water gushing from the ceiling. The piercing alarm echoed throughout the building, successfully slowing down Duke and his men. While everyone was distracted searching for her, Anna dropped down from above and took Duke hostage. At his signal, the bodyguards were forced to lower their weapons, giving Anna the perfect opening to escape. She decisively tore out an electrical cable in the power distribution room. She hurled the live wire into a puddle of water, successfully electrocuting her pursuers. But the danger was far from over. Just as Anna managed to escape, another guard spotted her. Fortunately, in that critical moment, Anna reacted just in time and killed him. However, because her enemies had the advantage in numbers, Anna didn't try to force her way out. Instead, she dodged their attacks and swung down from above using a fire hose. It seemed she had narrowly escaped death, but as she fled in panic through the building, a car suddenly came barreling toward her and hit her hard. This gave Duke the perfect opportunity to capture her. When Anna regained consciousness, she found herself locked in a holding cell by the lawyer. Facing his interrogation, Anna remained completely silent. To force her to talk, Duke ordered the guards to torture her with water. She suffered excruciating pain, coming close to death again and again. A normal person wouldn't have survived even 5 minutes, but Anna endured with incredible resilience. Duke didn't expect her to be this stubborn and had no choice but to try something else. Before long, a man in a suit named Morrison entered the room. He had met Anna once before in the bookstore. Unlike Duke's brutal methods, Morrison disapproved of how the lawyer handled things. He fed chicken porridge to the badly injured Anna and told her she should cooperate with the boss to avoid further suffering. Morrison said that both he and Duke worked for the mysterious boss. The lawyer handled problems, while Morrison was the one responsible for finishing the job. However, even when faced with Morrison's advice, Anna remained completely unmoved. Duke knew the boss valued information about Anna greatly. Watching the surveillance monitors, he realized that by tomorrow, Morrison would likely extract the information directly from her. To prevent Morrison from stealing the credit, Duke decided to eliminate Anna first. At his signal, the guards pinned her arms down and wrapped a bedsheet around her neck, intending to strangle her to death. But under the threat of death, Anna instead unleashed extraordinary strength. After a brutal struggle, by the time Duke and Morrison realized something was wrong, Anna had already vanished, leaving the room in complete devastation. Barely surviving, Anna made her way to Peter. Seeing her battered and injured state, he tried to persuade her to stop everything and walk away. She immediately rejected the idea. Knowing he couldn't change her mind, Peter assigned several of his men to escort her to Kateria Hospital. Disguised as a medical patrol staff member, Anna went down to the records department to retrieve Lucas's files. The hospital director didn't suspect a thing and even guided her to Lucas's ward. It turned out Lucas had never actually left the hospital. He had lost both his mobility and his eyesight since the age of 5. But because he was readmitted under his mother's name, Moody had failed to find him. Sensing something off, Anna asked the director who had been paying for Lucas's medical fees. He explained that the hospital had received a long-standing charitable donation, so all the patients were treated free of charge. It was clear that Lucas had no ability to kill anyone. The trail was suddenly cut off. Just when the truth became more and more uncertain, Morrison unexpectedly called. He told Anna that if she agreed to have dinner with him, he would reveal clues about the person who killed Moody. After thinking it over, Anna felt it was a beneficial deal and accepted the invitation. Sensing Morrison's unusual feelings toward Anna, the boss warned him that if he failed to handle the matter, the boss would personally kill Anna. Faced with the boss's threat, Morrison had to make a choice. That evening, Anna arrived at the restaurant in a stunning red dress. Yet whenever she asked him questions, Morrison skillfully dodged them. Forced to make him talk, Anna pointed her gun at him. But he didn't panic at all, he immediately drew his own gun in response. Seeing Anna's unwavering determination, Morrison once again urged her to stop, afraid she would be dragged deeper into danger. But despite his warning, Anna had her own reasons to keep going. No matter who was behind everything, she would kill him to avenge her friends and Moody. In the end, neither of them could convince the other, and the dinner ended on a sour note. While Morrison was taking a walk outside, an uninvited group secretly followed him. Through the rearview mirror, he noticed Duke's men. Before he could react, they realized they'd been exposed and immediately attacked. Fortunately, Morrison was quick. With a single move, he reversed the situation. But the danger wasn't over. When another attacker approached with a weapon, Morrison dodged, though he was nearly struck. Making use of nearby objects, he turned them into improvised weapons and narrowly survived. Once the last henchman was taken down, Morrison, burning with anger, drove straight to Duke's house. At the same time, Duke, unaware that the assassination attempt had failed, was calmly packing his belongings. But karma arrived quickly. By the time Morrison stormed in with his gun, Duke was already strangled dead. Anna had called just moments earlier. Clearly, the lawyer couldn't withstand the torture, and she had forced the truth out of him. The man behind everything was also the one who killed Moody. Morrison didn't expect Anna to progress so fast. A mix of admiration and anticipation for the next confrontation stirred within him. But he didn't know Anna hadn't left yet. Before he could react, she charged out of the room. Caught off guard by her sudden attack, Morrison panicked and dodged. He hid skillfully in a blind spot, then ambushed her from behind, knocking her down. The two immediately wrestled for the gun. Faced with Anna's fierce attacks, Morrison still couldn't bring himself to hurt her, until she pulled the trigger at him. Only then did he fully engage. But the gun was already out of bullets, forcing Anna to switch to her dagger. As they struggled, perhaps out of mutual respect, both silently chose to spare each other. Just when it seemed the danger had passed, Anna was ambushed the moment she stepped out of the apartment, by Duke's remaining henchmen. In that critical moment, a mysterious figure suddenly intervened and saved her. "Are you planning to lie there forever?" he asked. It turned out Moody really had been assassinated, but he didn't die. Instead, he faked his death as part of a plan, using the opportunity to mislead the killers and find a body double. This allowed the mastermind to let his guard down, while Moody investigated the truth. To protect his plan, he even kept Anna in the dark. Thanks to Moody's meticulous preparation, they uncovered the real mastermind, Edward. 30 years ago, Edward had hired Moody to kill himself because, despite appearing to be a businessman, he was involved in countless criminal activities. To escape the law, he staged his own death. Meanwhile, Edward, unaware that Moody was alive, was busy preparing for a charity gala, something he did regularly out of guilt. He believed his son's condition worsened because of his own sins, so he used the charity events to atone. He knew Anna would strike during the event but wasn't afraid. He hired a large number of guards and drones. Security at the gates held Anna's photo. If she appeared, she would be captured instantly. What he didn't expect was that Anna wouldn't disguise herself as a guest. She infiltrated the gala disguised as a server. When the party officially began, Edward stepped onto the stage as the host to deliver his speech. Seeing her target appear, Anna carried a tray and walked toward the main hall. Even though she had cut her hair short, her distinct aura still gave her away. Just as Anna was about to pull the trigger, Morrison lunged in and tackled her, causing her assassination attempt to fail. Taking advantage of the chaos as the guests panicked and fled, Anna also blended into the crowd and escaped the scene. The incident immediately put the security team on high alert, and they quickly escorted Edward into the safe room. Instead of following them to provide cover, Morrison grabbed his gun and chased after Anna. While searching for her, he suddenly spotted blood on the floor. It turned out that Anna's wound had reopened after being hit. Following the trail of blood, Morrison tracked her down. He soon found her hiding spot along with her blood-stained clothing on the ground. Moments later, Anna appeared in front of him. Realizing she couldn't win, she fought briefly, then fled outside to hide. But Morrison didn't give up. Seeing a figure move behind him, he immediately fired without hesitation. At the same time, Moody, holding a gun, finally found Edward. Edward was shocked, not only because Moody was still alive, but also because he knew the password to the secret room. Moody told him it was thanks to modern technology. Under the cover of multiple drones, he had planted a spy device that recorded Edward's guards entering the password, allowing him to access the safe room. The reason Edward wanted Moody dead was finally revealed. Although Edward had hired Moody 30 years ago to kill him, Moody had always regretted the act. He found out Edward had a disabled son and therefore kept searching for Lucas, hoping to atone for his mistake in his final days. But Edward, unaware of Moody's intentions, tried to stop him. Eventually, through persistent investigation, Moody uncovered the truth about Edward faking his death. At this time, Moody was suffering from cancer and didn't have much time left. Seeing his long-lost target standing alive before him, he decided to finish the mission he abandoned 30 years ago. Meanwhile, Morrison still had no idea about the safe room. Seeing Anna fatally wounded, he couldn't understand why she had the perfect chance to kill Edward but chose not to shoot. With the plan already in motion, Anna stopped hiding the truth. Her mission wasn't to kill Edward, it was to force him into the safe room. Only then did Morrison realize what was happening. But before he could act, the safe room exploded. Amid the smoke and chaos, Anna slipped away to a small boat she had prepared and returned to the place where her family was massacred when she was a child. The scene remained unchanged, but this time she didn't choose to run away. She could have killed Morrison back at the party, yet she chose to meet him here. Both of them pulled their triggers at the same moment. As Anna stepped outside, the hatred spanning 30 years finally came to an end. The film's pacing balances tension and breathing room well. Each layer of mystery is gradually revealed. Edward's staged death is the core theme throughout the story, from Moody's strange death, to Anna's pursuit, and finally to Edward's ruthless schemes. Every plot twist contains subtle hints leading up to the truth. Through multi-perspective storytelling, the director slowly uncovers reality during the confrontations between different characters. Edward used charity galas as a facade to cover his criminal network, faked his death to escape the law, and tried to protect his son. Yet his seemingly flawless plan crumbled under Moody's investigation and Anna's desire for revenge. This layered narrative keeps the audience fully engaged, piecing together one revelation after another until the very final moment. Anyone interested can check out the original film The Protégé. A movie's value lies in its story, but a review's value lies in the viewer's experience. That's the end of today's story. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. What did you think of the film?